whenever I go into a place, I want to be like outstanding, but I also want to serve the people around me.
I don't really like being outside decision-making rooms. I don't want to hear that something has happened and I don't know how it has come about. So regardless of whether you got the card or not, you must have had at least 50 million.
Like I spent, but one, it was a devoted team, my parents, and me selling off my assets that I had.
We prayed a lot, even the day for elections, like the night before. I didn't sleep.
MUBS has the most number of girls, so that makes it easy for the male candidates. Come as a male, look handsome, smell good.
At some point I felt alone. My family had to call an emergency meeting for me to leave the election. I didn't go.
Think like a man, act like a lady. You the rest with men, so you have to be bold, brave. Wear my clothes. I'm not getting out without my clothes. And there was pressure all over.
I was the first person who had three artists in the same fly. I get a call that all of them are not coming.
The MUBS fraternity, I am very, very grateful for the opportunity that you entrusted me with.
Because I believe God for everything that I've achieved, and I believe God for everything that I'm meant to achieve. Thank you so very much. Makerere Rose.
Welcome guys, welcome back to another episode
of the Don't At Me podcast. And today, our guests do not need introductions, do they?
We have celebrities in the building.
No one has welcome to this podcast in a suit.
Ever. This is the first.
No one has welcome to this podcast in a suit.
I don't think anyone has ever come to the podcast this formal, actually, in general as well. But should I do the introductions? I'm going to introduce our two guests. To my right, my immediate right, we have...
Today man's in mobile boy, you guys to see.
We have Mr. President James Churchill Ssentamu. He's the 91st Girl President of Makerere University. He is the son of Nyanzi Fred, the head of mobilization for the National Unity Platform. He won his election by 3,459 votes, with second place John Lukundo having 3,267, and Ismail Basalira of the National Unity Platform having 3,126. He is the nephew of Bobby Wine, who serves and has also served as the secretary of the Buganda Kwabazambogo Students Association of Makerere University. He will be succeeding Vincent Lubega Samba as the new girl president, who was a representative of the National Unity Platform. Welcome.
Like, after clapping it, I just want to tell the viewers one thing. Every time we come for this podcast, Mazi asks me, what's the topic? Like, he doesn't know until we reach here. This is the first time. This is the first time Mazi has ever prepared. I don't know what you guys have done to him. What have you guys done to him?
You want to kill my street cred, but it's okay. On my, again, not my immediate right, the other right, we have President Rose Nabwire. She is the 28th Girl President of Makerere University Business School. She is the first female girl president in over a decade since Pascal. Over a decade since Pascal Nacha. She won by 2,255 votes, with her nearest rival Henry Lukwago having a mere 1,242 votes. It's not true. I only read the facts, guys. She is a former student of Nabwire Girls School, and she's the outgoing Vice Girl President of Makerere University Business School, a position she held in her first year. Yes.
We didn't know that.
Yeah.
Me personally, I didn't know MUBS couldn't whatever. You couldn't go for anything of power in first year.
Yeah, there are policies, but there's a motion moving around at council where they're trying to debate about it. Yeah.
And lastly, she succeeds Moses Amanya. Yeah.
So what's council? How's council? Do we also have council at MUBS?
Yes, we do have council.
How is council?
We have council.
What's council?
Council is the biggest decision body of an institution, and you always have to have a representative of the students. And when I was vice guild president, I and the president sat on council to make decisions for the students. We represent the students at council.
It's like parliament, basically.
Yes.
Okay.
So in a way, you already know what you're going for.
So she's more experienced than I am.
Also, which brings me to ask, like, is this your first position of power? Like, has this been growing into something? And where do you see it going also?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, it's not my first position of power. I've held a few leadership positions. I was games and sports in my O level. Before I joined Julian, I was at Chitende. I think I didn't hold any position at Chitende though. Then at Julian I became games and sports prefect. In my A level, I became what you can call head prefect, but we were called presidents. So I became president after, of course, His Excellency Nobega Samba. Then after that, when I came to campus in my year one, I served as chief coordinator evening students cohort. Then I served as chief fresher, and I was equally the secretary general for Bagana and Kobazambogo Students Association. So coming into the guild leadership, at least I have had a fair share of leadership. Of course, not like my colleague here who was sat on council.
The colleague.
Yes.
Please take us through your
Leadership positions.
Glory.
You've seen that thing of the TikTok where someone asks the gift and someone pulls out a long paper.
So my leadership started from, I think, P1. I was a pencil collector in P1. I remember.
Like a pencil collection.
Yeah, then I took some period of leadership. Then in my senior one at Our Lady of Good Counsel Gayaza, I was a councillor. In senior 3, I became deputy head girl, went to Navisunsa and became head of Whitehall, came to Makerere University Business School, became a course leader, then Speaker Basam, the Association for Business Administration Students. Then I later became the vice guild president, then stepped down to go for guild president.
That is a hell of a CV, especially the pencil collector position.
But also, like, before, I don't know if it's, do you know this, who's Mao? Mao was the guild president at MUBS. And I remember the statement he said is like, back in the day, if you became guild president, it meant that you had the potential to become what? A president of, let's say, Uganda. Which makes me ask you guys, like, where do you see this going? Okay, maybe not this, but what would be...
What are the ambitions?
Yeah.
Yes, of course, right now, there's immediate, you've just won, so first you have to serve. But when you look down the tunnel, where does it lead?
I think we should start with Nana, please.
With who?
Nana.
Nana. Okay, yeah, I think before coming for guild president, I badly wanted UNSA when I was vice guild president. But then I saw a lot of politics to play in the GRC house and it was a bit tricky. So His Excellency Amanya tells me, why don't you just come for guild president and have a direct slot to UNSA? So I'm looking at UNSA, then looking at NYC, then you just never know, maybe I'm an MP. You know? Very intentional.
I mean, a different way. Well, mine is, I think why Mao said that is that the experience you get in campaigning, you see, it's not about just becoming. Becoming is just a small statement, but the journey towards becoming guild president is what really shapes you, yeah? You actually interact with people in a sense of national status, you understand? For example, the way you campaign today as guild president is equally the same way you campaign to stand as president. Like, for us at Makerere, we believe that Makerere University is Uganda summarized, you understand? Like the system of governance equally transintegrates into the national politics. So the experience basically shapes you now, how you set your mind up now, how you look at things, the people you discuss with at council, like she said, the people that you sit with at council, you sit with representatives from ministries, you sit with vice chancellors, you have opportunities to explore both at continent and world level. So I think really it's because of the magnitude of the position, and I don't close my doors, you know. If the sky is the limit, then you have to go there. So if it's a possibility and it's God's will for me, then surely.
Oh, well, I wanted to first brag that, guys, this is the first time we have both presidents together since their win. So, shout out Don't Admit Podcast. Yeah, I just needed that to be put out there for clarity. My next question is, what is the motivation to be? Because I think leadership is a calling like no other. But then to go for a position as guild president, you have to have a different type of mindset to even consider it. So what are the motivating factors individually for both of you to go for it and now to stand in the position as guild presidents in your respective capacities?
Go first.
Whichever.
I think what drove me towards the position was basically desire to serve. I won't lie, whenever I go into a place, I want to be like outstanding, but I also want to serve the people around me. And like serve like a servant, and people feel that impact. You just never know. Today you're serving them. What if they are the ones that are going to put you out there someday? So that was the major key factor. Whereby I was like, let me just come independent. Whatever comes out, I've already started the journey. I can't stop. I've come too far to quit. Yeah.
Well, I think for me, I don't really like being outside decision-making rooms. I don't want to hear that something has happened and I don't know how it has come about. So I'm a very hands-on person and very nosy sometimes. So I really love to be in the know of how things happen. Now that's individuality now. I want to know how things are done. I'm very adventurous. And when I see someone do something, I'm like, if he did it, I equally can do it, regardless of the magnitude of what he may have done. Then the other thing is I come from a very political family. On my mother's side, we've had I'm a grandson to Stanislaus Mugwanya, who I think was a regent of Kawaka Daud. So there is that, my father, when they combine them now, the stories that are at home are all political.
It's in the blood.
It's just there in the
culture.
balance. And now since my uncle also came active in politics, there's a party, there's what. So I got myself interested with leadership, politics. Then I think that is how I'm like, what position can I go for at MUBS? I look around and another inspiration is in Samba. Samba is my hobby. We stayed in the same room for I think 2 weeks because I became president. And he was former president, but he had exams. UNEB. You know how the people did UNEB in March, April? So, and presidents were not allowed to sleep in the dormitories. So we shared a room for 2 weeks. And I saw him when he was president, I'm like, this is the guy I was with in that room back in my former school. But if he has been able to do it, then I think it is possible, guys. So that's how I also get
the mindset.
Then, before when you're still talking about Mao, you said, the journey to becoming guild president, the campaign is, you said MUBS is Uganda summarized. Yeah, so now I want to get to the money because I feel like there's a lot of money spent in campaigns. I didn't actively see a lot that happened in MUBS because I'm in MUBS, but now for my guild president, I saw her. Because this is my question, yeah? This is my question, yeah? You give out food, yeah? You give out food, there are people moving with you, the whole day. I feel like you had to take care of around 500 people per
just
day.
In the campaigning
per
community.
Day. There are steps to MUBS where that broke down, I think, because of something happened. I think someone heavy sat on them, I don't know.
Someone heavy. Okay, that's
but one day, Rose for guild, she's fixing our
stairs.
So this is my question, yeah. Did you know you're going to win? Yeah. But before you answer, first tell us roughly how much you spent.
Give us estimates.
Per day.
there's a young fresher there who
wants to
be guild president.
But they want to know how.
He needs to understand the expectations.
Because also, there's that track. Sound system, all that jazz.
I think
that thing, Rose had a big one.
These guys came to hostels, giving out porridge, playing music. You think it was
giving out porridge?
Yes. So you
now first we had
can't.
pilau. MUBS we had pilau.
There was pilau everywhere.
So please
Give us
give us a rundown.
an insight on how the finances work.
Yeah. So
By the way, there
before,
was an S-class that was following Rose around.
A Benz.
S-class.
Jesus Christ.
Me I had a taxi.
so at first, when I thought I was coming under the NR political party, I ran a budget of about 42 million. Crazy, right?
That's before you just think about you like, I may need
42, like, no, you really actually draft a budget and you're like, okay, for this thing to come out spab, it has to run for about 42 because I tried to reduce it from 50.
You left them there 8.
Yeah. So now I don't get the party card.
So
And I have 42 million looking at me. Crazy. So to run a campaign, I think mostly I had a very, very committed team. I had the Rose Army. I think whenever you'd hear me address, I would start with the Rose Army, then supporters, who are a group of 204 solid people. These are people where I would say we're going for hostel movements at 12 in the night, they'll be there. We are going for class movements. You realize I had the hugest convoy whenever we were moving.
No, she had, like, I don't know if those were like students, but they
were.
looked like bodyguards.
They were
in army
students.
uniform.
Yeah, they were students, but we'd dress them up because those were valid voters. So we would sit in meetings and we were like, you know what, guys? Or 10K bring, 20K bring, 50, and you would realize that out of 204 you would come up with money. Like you would sit in a meeting and be able to raise like 2 million, a million shillings, and then you call your dad and tell him, oh dad, you've been able to raise this, top up on this, and then they get like more money. But I think by the time the campaign ended, I sold a laptop. I gave out I had an iPhone, took it in for, I had to sell it to get money. Wow. You had to like give out things in order to get money.
that's crazy.
It's really, really crazy and frustrating. So at a point you realize, oh my God, this camp, they're bringing musicians and you have no musicians. And then you're like supposed to call a musician, negotiate. I spent, but one, it was a devoted team, my parents, and me selling off my assets that I had.
That's deep though. That's deep. That's
Yeah.
deep. Selling off your phone. And you...
She's not telling us how much.
yeah. Okay.
Did
I
it
was
was
close.
the figure
I
close
was
to 42
close.
million?
To 42 million.
I spent 35 roughly.
How much was that cheap?
The car that I used to bring, the guy wanted to give it to us at 1 million, but would always plead, we're an independent camp, we have 900,000, and that's minus the fuel, the generator, the DJ. Yeah.
Per journey or?
But you see, this
Like
is my
that
question.
way.
Let's say
lost.
money was tight, yeah?
Mm.
But even with the money being tight, you had the biggest car. Because I'm sure there was an option of getting those small ones that other people had.
Now, you know what sells you out? You being unique. Whenever, you know what young people want? Someone
hype,
will say,
the noise.
oh my God, in Rose's car you can sit. Actually, you can sit, guys. And like someone is on a small car. That alone is enough for someone to cross from one camp to another camp. What do people see? Politics is about what do people see, what do people actually like, the vibe, the energy. These are youths. And you expect them to run after a small truck.
She gave out SIM cards, guys.
Also, just know, I don't.
What?
Yeah. Like
SIM cards,
like
like a SIM
the stores in school
And
where
put
you just
Wi-Fi at small gates.
you just go
Yes.
and give your ID and you get a free SIM card.
Yeah.
Do you know how many kids are in MUBS? Nothing compared to what? Nothing compared to MUBS, but every day there's a line on what? On those SIM cards
For free.
for free.
How much did that run you? Like that project alone?
It was one of the heaviest projects because I remember spending about 12 million because they gave me like a discount. I remember like lines are about 15,000, but they gave me like a 10K, so I had to buy 4.
Okay, I wouldn't have one against this girl.
Can I ask you something?
Honestly, that's
The
insane.
ideas for these things.
Yeah,
Where
like,
these ideas
where did
come
these
from?
ideas come from?
The team.
The team, the
The
204
team.
people.
People would think because we realized, oh my God, we don't have this election. I think a week to elections. Actually, on the day of the debate, we had no people. Remember year twos, you know how we do the transitioning of like year ones on campus, year twos. Now year twos knew me, year ones didn't know me. So it was a transition. I think I had about 150 people for the debate rally, and like the Green Party had so many people. So everyone was like, "Twayo cheza." We went for a meeting immediately, and we had to look for what is going to put year ones. These are year ones.
Yeah.
So we kept on telling them we have free like Amoba university.
Because even by just getting that free like line that first time, that's like it comes with like free data.
Free
like
data. So yeah.
That's actually really good. But you know what? Shout out like her.
And I'm
This guy
also
should be sharp
a
next time.
smart girl, guys. Like I would also say we're going to do this.
But yeah, that's Ma was really, really impressed. Really,
Like I should give you like a sponsorship now that you're born, because how many clients do they have?
Brand
now?
ambassador.
Yeah. Like if you're watching this, give our president endorsement. Are presidents allowed to have endorsements? I don't know. We can change the narrative.
So,
To you, Mr. Churchill.
Okay. So, you see, guys, Makerere University, main campus, is very, very amorphous. And everything that runs there is very exacerbated. Like, it is big.
Yeah.
So, I wanted to run under the NUP card. So, my budget was times 2. Like, I had to have a budget for primaries and a budget for after primaries. I think my budget was around 60, 50. 50, but the 10 to make it 60 was to come from NUP. Because
the 10 million to make it 60 was to come from any.
if you get the card.
First of all, so 50 you, 10 million.
So regardless of whether you got the card or not, you must have had at least 50 million. Because NRM spends quite a lot of
Yeah,
money.
they do.
I was hopeful of getting the NUP card. But when I didn't get the card, actually, my budget significantly decreased from 50 to like 25. How? So when all that happened, I decided to quit the election. I'm like, the person that was supposed to fund this campaign is my father. He's NUP. He cannot, I don't think he will. Because in fairness of heart, he equally would want to be there for his son, but because of his national conscription, he wouldn't. Like how? What perception? Your son, blah, blah. I reached the point where I wasn't talking to my father, guys, in the election. Because I don't pick. Because I know he wants to tell me, Churchill, I'm telling you as your father, live there. Because he did before. So my budget's reduced to like 27, and we now started, because when people told me that Churchill, no, we want you in the election, we shall support you, then the reasons as to why I had to spend that money reduced. For example, buy off certain people, like people who have influencers, artists, because we wanted to have, the plan was if I get the NUP card, I bring like those NUP leading artists, like at least one every day in the night. So when I don't get the card, I was sure these guys won't come on board because I don't have the party card and
resources as well.
And no, the resources we still could find a way. So we had to do a few things. So we knew now, since you don't have the card, you must find a stronghold. My stronghold was my hall, that is North Court, in Sibiro and in Nkrumah. They were like my first support, like how you can say the Rose Army. I had the Sibiro Revolutionary Army and there was a Jeffogard Brigade. They were like the people you would see me walk with, the boys. Those were the people. The OGB was headed by their CDF called United Peter. Then there was Nicholas Kawedere and John Walker Opoka. They're trying to mobilize that. So now I knew I don't have to spend on who to work with. I have a foundation of people that I sleep with at home. So that budget of like 10 million goes away. Then the other now, we had to know that since we don't have party loyalists to support us, what can we do? Like, oh, Churchill, maybe the girl child can really relate with you more. So, okay, now what do we do? Instead of having now dishing out money, just buy a good perfume. Unfortunately.
That's well.
These are strategies, guys. Like, have a good perfume, dress well, yeah, and meet attract. Like, get there, talk to people, be nice. So, on Valentine's, I think the biggest project I had was the one on Valentine's. I gave out apples at every gate, like every entrance. We gave out apples that day. And I think the other event was I had to make sure that on Women's Day, I gave out ice cream to like 1 hall and 2 hostels of girls. Probably that was Lumumba Hall. Like now Lumumba has very many girls, and I think Lumumba was one of my other strongholds besides Northcote. So then the other, we had to give now rice, like food to hall. Now my boys at hall had to also feel appreciated. You had to buy food for them. So my campaign was run on love rather than money. People loved me. Like people was like, with money or not, we shall be with you. Because I have a team of people who, even after losing the card, other candidates came offering them money, which I wasn't. And they were like, no, Churchill, I think you can win. A few now, even Saku is a very good friend of mine. He stepped out of the election to support me. And he was like, he's NUP leaning, but NUP called him and refused to go. So you can see that, and I hadn't given him any money. So my election became way cheaper than I expected for the fact that I didn't get the NUP card.
Yeah.
People got emotional about my case. Yeah, people were like, oh my God, Churchill, we thought you were leaving the election. What are you going to do? Then my father gets abducted. So the sources of money really now get hampered. My father is not around. My mother is confused on what to do. Then I have an uncle of mine, he's in America, he's called Amos. So this uncle of mine was the one voting. Tomorrow we have an event in the hostel. We need maybe 800,000. Churchill, I told you to call me a week before, but okay, let me see what to do. He sends, even when he knew that I didn't get the NDP card, and there was this narrative, oh my God, you have 6 years in a row, it will repeat itself, you may not win. But for him, I was like, let me just support you, like let me just pour out my heart for you. Then my mom, my colleague came through, a few friends here and there. Then my dad, lastly, after him now accepting that I cannot leave the election anymore, regardless of what levels of intimidation they took away all the cars I was using from me, and I remained alone. Me, my mom, my uncle, and my team. Like, guys, winning an election, you are the candidate, you contribute like 10%. Your team does the team. Once you don't have a team, you have nothing. So if you're there, first don't get money, get people who like you. Get a team, the money will come. Like you've heard, it can come from the people, from colleagues. So basically, I think my campaign took around 18 to 20 million. Like the standard price could be like 20 million with a few things that happened there and there. I think 20 is the fair price without exacerbating it. Yeah.
Do you know how much these other parties give their candidates? Like NRM?
NRM, I think NRM is weird. They can give you 50, 60, depends on the magnitude of the election, how they see you winning. But I don't really want to get into that.
Yeah. But then, okay, that's just as a follow-up question about money. Do you think someone can win an election without money?
No. No. No, you cannot.
You don't think you can win?
I don't see it happen.
Do you think that's an advantage or disadvantage
it is
to politics?
It's a disadvantage because people are capable, but in the funds.
You see, when I was starting my campaigns, I met Vincent, the former guild president of Makerere University. He told me, my brother, you need to have like 50 million there. The first thing, before even how do you speak, how do you dress, money. Like Makerere students, these are students, like they're not really interested. Me, I got lucky that they got interested after I lost the party card. That's when girls now really got interested in, oh my God, this guy, he lost the card. Oh my God, he has been working since last year.
The story.
You understand? The story of how I came and how they thought I was, now all that hard work was going to be put down because of this one scenario. Yeah. So you cannot.
Imagine when other camps are wearing green and then your people don't have shirts.
You just
can't. I'm not sure.
You just
remember
can't.
There's a joke we made in like my friends. So it was like, I'm going to go for guilt, but for me, my motto is going to be Muntwa Wansi. Like, I have nothing.
Bro, you can
I have nothing to show you.
No,
I have nothing.
You can be a Muntwa Wansi, but with money.
Money, some
Okay,
money.
so for me, the thing I wanted to ask, on the points of losing cards, I mean, both of you, NRM card. Yeah, I mean,
And now we are.
so like when you think about it, like basically, the first level of the whole election is maybe the preliminaries or the nominations, and the first thing on the card is you lose.
It's a letdown.
It's like you're like, okay, down. For me, I just want to know how does a mindset switch move from losing adversity, because now they're like, if you don't follow, if you stand independently, you're disrespecting the political system, you're disrespecting how it should run, and now you go on to stand independently. We've heard about the financial struggles now. You have to look for money. You had loyalists who loved you, but who are loyal to parties. So now they're switching up. Now you're seeing competitors who have more resources than you. Basically, you're at every possible disadvantage. It's actually miraculous that both leaders in both universities have to face the exact same scenario. Yeah. So we want to know, like, how do you move from there to winning? So yeah, consider it with you.
Yeah, I found out like on a Monday that the party card wasn't mine. And on Thursday they were going to announce the party card, the flag bearer of the NRM party. So I tell my team, I think that was one of the moments I really got emotional, because I feel like I did the ultimate most. They first said, we want to see the mobilization skills. I mobilized people. We want to see, is she capable? Can she speak? How does she carry herself? Visibility, where is she? Posters, banners. I really did the most. I even carried out an inter-hostel sports tournament just to get numbers. Bought a bull on an hey.
This is before.
That's before.
I didn't get this.
Because they were asking.
No, but that was I feel like the motto at MUBS was, if Rose loses, she's going to faint. Because Rose took a lot of
I
money
did the most.
into the election.
I did the most. The roses. You see Valentine, how you give out apples. I bought fresh roses with sweets moving around the compound.
I mean, that's good branding. Rose.
Rose for Valentine.
Rose with the rose.
Yeah, exactly. See, it's a good PR right there. Good
So
PR
like,
right there.
and then we get news the party card is not ours. And then
Were they yellow roses?
no, they were red
That's
roses.
the challenge. They were supposed to be yellow roses.
I had a yellow coat on. Yeah.
By the way, clothes, is that also...
Hey.
And that doesn't count in the budget. That's possible, right?
There's a day of that first debate, the first debate when you're like all white. Was that the first debate?
Yeah, that was the first debate.
Then there's
The
like...
blue outfit.
The nomination.
No.
where I was like,
Now
Emirates.
there's a different one. There's a whole like white queen-like thing. Then there was like the blue like skirt. With,
That's the one. The one that
There was
looks
one
like
that had a thing.
The hair
I
hostess.
got annoyed.
And there's that very iconic picture of you when you're wearing the blue thing and there's someone guarding you like this. It's so iconic.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we realized that we don't have the party card. I got the news first. So you know how like the whole team, I really did the most to get them. I merged with members. We were 4 candidates on the party card. I merged with 1. We remained 3. And I was like, hey, there's 3, honestly. Can they really fail? Because we're going to give it to the other one, who later became my personal assistant.
Yeah.
So we realized the flag is not mine on Monday. The truth is, that was one of the most traumatizing
Hold
moments.
on. Someone you were with in the election for the primary
For the
became
primary.
a PA.
Became my PA.
The same with me.
Yeah.
Someone I was with also became my PA.
I pulled them. So now we were like, do you
Man,
know
you
what?
guys are over twinning, guys. They're over twinning, bro.
So I get the news the flag is not mine. I think that is one of the moments I became a bit emotional in the race, because it felt like I had lost, because I had done the most for the flag. And then they tell you it's not yours. And then I have to tell the team, like, do you know what, guys? The flag is not ours. What do you mean? And some of them got so angry, some of them got so pissed. Remember, there were people that were on my side thinking that I would get the NRM flag. that was a division. There are people that I had pulled because they were like, maybe she's NRM, let us just go. There are people that I had because they were Rose. So just now imagine me telling them that I'm not getting the party flag, and some of them are so loyal to the party. They had to leave.
Yeah.
So I started seeing people go.
Like cut the show.
People started, they were like, bye.
Cut the show.
Pack a day, pack. So I told the team we have to keep on pushing. And the next day, I think after one day, everyone is sunk in that we are not getting, and I'm not rallying behind the flag bearer because of certain reasons.
Greed.
Yeah, and then people started saying, you're greedy, Rose, you've been a vice, give others chance.
I saw that message. I think you were class leader BBA first year.
Then Speaker Bassam.
So there was a message that was like, she was already this, she was already this.
No, if she was at MUBS, that would have been her point of failure. The fact that she had served before.
But then I used it like an opportunity.
Yeah,
You're the most
you see,
qualified
MUBS is very, like Makerere University, Kampala is very, very, very hard to predict. People can decide to get one thing and it will become a campaigning tool.
And I think I was given the most propaganda.
In a way.
In a way, I had the most propaganda.
Positive or bad?
Very negative. Very negative.
Also, honestly, it's sad, but it's true. In a way, being a girl is not fair. Like, people treat it differently. You're going to lose because you're a girl.
But I feel like, and contrary to that is, in your election, I felt like you being a woman was kind of an advantage. Because I saw a lot of women rally behind. Like, usually...
It was the first time.
That's exactly what I'm saying. The usual situation is like most women, they don't want to get into the mess and the whole confusion of the politics. Like, you know how campaigns can get, they get physical.
No, I think what really helped me, I didn't make it look feminine. I didn't make it look... I made it look like I am the qualified leader you need. Because I remember our motto was, yes, we can. And we had to change it to the leadership that works. We now had to look to devise for means of how we can pull people's attention. And because girls have been coming up amongst boys and they kept on losing.
Yeah.
But now guess what? There were 6 boys.
And
I was one girl, guys. Because I remember we started off the race as 10 and I was the only girl out of 10 boys. So the boys kept on dropping off.
You have balls.
Yeah. So we decided to come independent. We declared on a Wednesday. I remember I had very few people. Then we started mobilizing. But what?
I actually didn't think it was true. Because I didn't expect you to leave NRM. Because you're the vice. When we saw that...
No.
And I served under... And I had served under the NRM government. So everyone felt like I qualified. So when people started saying, she's greedy, she doesn't want to give other people a chance, because that was also
Greed or ambition.
And that's the same thing I used, because I remember in debate I said if having desire to serve is greed for power, then every powerful leader would be greedy. And then people were like, yay! So yeah, we used such avenues, and like for the first, I think it was grace. I don't know. I really related to God, because girls rallying behind a girl. MUBS has the most number of girls, so that makes it easy for the male candidates. Come as a male, look handsome, smell good, wear. Hey, be clean, hug them. Trust me, you will get. Now imagine you're a girl, you're busy hugging fellow girls. However,
what
are you getting? Yeah.
But do you think girls were like, at a point?
I remember when I was walking out of the gate after voting for myself, like a girl made a statement and I was like, I voted for her, but I don't think a girl can go through.
That was the most important thing, them voting for you.
Yeah, so I went shaking. I was like, kawedemu.
But
I mean, from loser to blowout win, you can't even be mad about that.
How about you?
Gets me my heart.
You want to cry. You might cry.
So now, like my father, my uncle, I didn't see an election outside NEP, and I was very confident in myself, guys. Like I've never seen myself any confident. Like I wasn't getting that party card. So my entire election was planned in NUP, like each and every move I made, I even tried to make sure that I look like them, dress like them sometimes, walk like them. Okay, walking like them it has stayed there. Like it's even now I still walk like, but I was sure because I knew I had numbers. That was undeniable, and I knew I had goodwill at the party, which I did. Maybe, however, so I think politically it would really do good if I didn't get the card and I stood behind an NEP candidate. Oh my God, it would blow. Because like, oh my God, he's the son, he didn't win the party card. That is democratic, it is fair.
Humble.
You understand? Not humble, it is fair. It is like, it was a good move for them.
Yeah.
Good PR.
Yeah, sometimes it was a good move for them. And for them, they were determined to, I think a number of them, members of the party, were determined for me to leave the election. Yeah. So I stood up one day in a meeting we had at the party and I said, I don't see myself in an election if I lose. I said lose the party card. So when the day of voting comes, there was a few inconsistencies here. I think a faction of people really took it too far and it became evident that I was being fought. So when they fight, a few people who are in charge of that election, I don't know, like I get frustrated, yeah. So after when they were reading results, I was standing. I was seated first, then I stood because the people were reading ballots. So they read my opponent like 10 times in a row. Then they read me 10 times in a row. So like it all comes down to, I think, the final 100 votes, and that's when I started. He gets 2, 3, I get 1. He gets 4, I get 1. Then when they were counting, I knew I hadn't won. So my team got shattered. The girls that I was working with, the 2 girls, I think Jemima and Letitia, they all cried on instant. Then Peace, Gabriel also cried. Like me, in my head, I was composed. I was like, okay, it has happened. We're leaving the election tomorrow.
Was there a relief? Did you feel like
Yeah, like, okay, it's done.
I can now like.
I promise I got that.
And read my books in peace.
I not read books. So I was content in my heart. Those few hours, like after them reading the elections, I was even still at the party headquarters. I was really sure I'm leaving the election. So the energy that I saw that day when they were counting these elections, these votes, I was like, party guys, I've just lost the card. But look at the people. When they read my name, when they die, wow, you understand? So, because some people just came to vote because they were sent by some people. Some people thought if I get the card, people thought
in this things.
you apply online. So that's why it is really. But I think they'll change. They'll sit down and change because it has brought them very many problems. You apply, whether you're a member of the party or not, as long as you have a student number, an email. Even you would, as long as you're a student at MOOC.
To vote on behalf of NUP.
Yes. That's how it was. So some people from other parties came and voted for my opponents. You understand? Because these guys were very scared of me getting the card or me staying in the election, because I'd already shown even before the primaries that I was already strong. Okay? Like you wouldn't count 2 candidates and you don't say my name.
Yeah.
At least if someone said the NRM candidate, they would say and Churchill. If they said the NUP candidate, like I was always in that debate, always. I never went beyond second position. So now people thought, he will leave the election. Let us make sure he does not win the card. Now the student fraternity and the mafias, political mafias. So the party tried to have the election as fair and as possible. But again, for them, it was better business as a political party, showing that they're not nepotic. You understand? And when I lost the card, I took a petition the next. So the night after losing the card, I go to hall. These guys, they convene an emergency meeting. They tell me, you're not leaving the election. For us, we shall be with you. We have already endorsed you. We cannot start looking for another candidate. So basically for them it was about them just having candidate in the election. Then my father also tells me, Churchill, go and petition that election. Don't first withdraw, first go and petition. If you feel, because my father was on ground when I was entering the party, and like it was too big. Like I entered and everything that first went to a standstill. Then other candidates came, you would see there's not too much energy. So I don't lose, I don't get the card. Then I petition, but I think these guys really didn't want me to. They didn't want to have a by-election because it wouldn't sound good in the public eye. Either because of their son, because people had been complaining 6 years in a row. Someone would always complain and they would never have election, so they would never have it with me as well. So they wouldn't. Why me? So the party took its position as the party, and that is okay.
The candidate has been chosen.
Now me, my father tells me to leave the election. My uncle tells me to leave the election. They give me all reasons in the world as to why I'm not going to win. You're dividing votes. If you support the NEP candidate, he will win. You're going to be the reason as to why the Yellow Party wins an election after 26 years. Like they've not won an election in that time. And signs were evident they would win this time. And this time I reached and I would see it. Like I would enter a room, people, hey, Churchill. Then the NM candidate comes, hey, like he would have the same energy. Then on TV debates, when I start to talk, when he talks, people shout, girls, what? When I was first to talk, like it was me and him. Okay, the NUP, he had a few boys who would push it up. So I thought of quitting. But every day I would want to quit. These boys were like, no, you can't leave them. Prince, Maberi, Saku, Philan, Sean. Those are like the ones who are really, really close. Alfred, Ismail Swag. The ones who would like come around and be like, no, you can't, you got this. So we did whatever I could do to continue. So on the day of winning the election, we were just the most organized. Yeah, we had, you see, Makerere University politics, it is not different. Like you can't find where you have to do staircases. No. They're not there, honestly. But Rose was lucky those things were there and she had the money.
Which money?
I don't think they're even there.
Or maybe she's the one who broke the staircase. And you repaired it.
No, they already broke it.
Okay, but for the policies at okay, you can't really now set up Wi-Fi. Like it's not allowed.
Really? It's
not.
Especially even campaigning inside the university.
Like if first we were supposed to only move with 9 people.
Yeah.
9 people.
The campaign.
I believe this is where Rose had 500, and I think that's why my money reduced. Like the money I spent reduced.
You can move like this outside university. So like that's why you see when they come to hostels, the numbers would be, but in university.
So like Rose, even the person I was with in the primaries left the election for me, and he became my personal assistant and handler. You see that boy who always shouts my videos, the one who sings, the one he like. Then I also changed my motto from "Let's get hard" to "Endorsed by God." Now that is what sparked up everything. Like even after the win, like this guy was really endorsed by God, guys. Like, because I was always, we prayed a lot. Even the day for elections, like the night before, I didn't sleep. I prayed from 1 to 4. It even rained on us.
Can you?
Me, I slept Munai, but I slept at 5 in the morning. I woke up at 10.
But you know,
That's
this
the.
game
But
where
yours are
we're transporting
online.
people from hostel to school to go and vote.
For us, it's online.
Now, one thing now for us ours was for you have to get laptops and look for people. Make please put it in person to person.
Person per person, mobilization.
So, I prayed. It even rained on us. It was me, my friend called Philan, and a friend called Jemima. We prayed, like real praying. Yeah? Yeah, Philan prays. He's not Philan. So I was even fasting in the election. Like, you know how you have to fast, then you go and shout, then you have to walk around, you can't be in the car.
It is the most hectic
So
thing.
me, I was fasting. Even there's a video that shows when I was like really, my lips were dry. Like, but basically, God was on my side. And I think when God really accepts you for who you are, there's no barrier, man. There was narrative mania, tribal card, party politics, but man,
No, I remember.
I was endorsed by
God did.
God
Remember
did.
the day the elections were allowed, we had a presentation in the, what's it called? That innovation center at
Innovation Hub.
At the ICT at CTF. That
It's Cobhams.
Cobhams.
It is called Innovation Hub.
that one.
Yes.
So I'm there, and we could look outside. We just see a wave of people, and they are whatever. Everyone, even the lecturer first stopped what they were doing. Everyone is on Twitter. Then there was that screenshot that would show how many votes each person had. And then we had the whole wave. People in the class were celebrating.
Oh, after winning.
After you won, it was an evening. It was like evening.
People love me, man.
Yeah, so like people in the class are like, yeah. Of course, some people are like putting their heads down, but the vast majority of people, then obviously the lecturer also first went to hand that was like, okay, it's done. Let's now focus on the class. But you could see that there was an overwhelming support, especially among the females.
I cried because at some point I felt alone. My family had to call an emergency meeting for me to leave the election, and I didn't go for the meeting deliberately. I'm sorry, but people believed in me and I couldn't disappoint them.
So my question is, what does the reception look like from both of you? Like from both, as you have a relationship with NRM, you have a relationship with NUP. What has been the reception upon you winning from these cohorts? Like, are they positive? Has the narrative changed? Because now they can't change it. Have they all come back their own? Are they being positive?
You just can't be negative. You just can't.
I just try to be neutral.
They just can't be negative.
I feel like it's a lesson learned.
Exactly. It is a reason for them, both the two parties, to now make systematic ways of getting
capable candidates.
No, but also my question is, what elections do you have internally that you will, because this is the truth, for MUBS, the person who ran the ticket that she was going to run had 800 votes. The person who beat her in primaries had 800 votes, and she had 2,000 votes. So
sometimes stories do change, bro. Sometimes, like, in case I voted 2 days after the primary elections, I wouldn't have won. You understand?
So
sometimes it changes.
What you do.
The big car,
the like lines.
No, like what you do, and it's hard work.
Really,
I remember every time we were in meetings, they used to tell me, yes, you're capable, but in an election, it's not the most capable that wins, it's the best mobilizer that wins.
See, that's another
And me, I didn't see myself as the best mobilizer.
Really, yeah? Now, for me, I've always had a problem with politics in general, because sometimes the theatrics outweigh the purpose, And we're just fortunate in this situation that we have two capable candidates who just still went the other mile to get the numbers. But I think in more often situations, not just in Uganda, in a general landscape, there's so many situations where because someone is not charismatic or rowdy, they fall short at serving.
They said I was young.
See things like that. And now you see you're a first year, you're a girl, etc. And these are all like barriers that hold back. What do you guys think about that in terms of in general political landscape? I'm not just saying Uganda, in the world, like the redundancy of that. Like how do you fix that? How do you move forward?
But I
or do you have to play the
I feel
game?
like that's also kind of counterproductive. I feel like for you to be a good leader, you have to have these other things as well. You get, like, I don't think you'd be a good guild without the ability to talk to people. Do you get? Like, I could be shy, but now I'm going to make like good policies. But for guild, like, look for something and be like in charge of what. But for that position of a guild president, you have to come with a what? With these roles, like this, the voice, you have to be charming, you have to, like, I don't think it's enough for you to just be what? To just have the...
Competent.
Yeah, to be competent, you also have to have the exterior things.
No, do you want to go first?
I feel like you look for what excites the students. Voters can even change that day. On that very day, I can assure you, someone says, because she reached out to me, I'm going to vote for her. I can tell you, I ran around campus from 7. I had even forgotten to vote myself. They came for me, I had to run to go and vote for myself. Voters' minds change. Voters are like weather. Today they are sunny, tomorrow they are. Whoever brings for them what they feel like is.
But the campus selection.
Yeah, they're good because I didn't know that I didn't have to have my phone. Then some guy was like, let me hold your phone for you. You go and watch, you're going to find me. And then
The umbrellas, like you have to mark people.
Like there was sunshine. Okay, there was a lot of sunshine.
Like,
but they move from the gate to where you're voting
you're
from.
voting for.
They give you an umbrella.
Someone keeping your luggage. It's about organization. And what are you able to convince? Youths are different people. They love people that are rowdy. Me, that's one thing I can tell you. That's why you realize on some rallies, because I remember they always used to tell me, think like a man, act like a lady. Think like a man, act like a lady. You're in the race with men, so you have to be bold, brave. Like, if you're going to speak, show them that they have no option but you.
Also, I saw JWB, endorsed you.
Yeah.
Did you think that kind of helped you?
It really added on. Even Africa Den is smudging with me because he's the father of clinics, like those academic facilitations. He withdrew from the race scheme. I think really what helped me, I kept on merging with people of impact. The more you
would
merge.
reach out to them, you're like, man.
No, remember Africa was denied the UID flag. So there was no way he was going to endorse a UID candidate.
No,
You see, now, before you even continue, there's one thing. This is how you see how really God works. Now, imagine that guy gets the UID card. It's a problem. Even me, there are people that, in case they got the NUP card, it would have been a bigger problem. Yeah? But man, when leadership really comes from God, everything we shall say here shall all come back down to one thing. You can be the best. I wasn't the best, but God was on my side.
God said you're the best.
And if it was
God said I'm the best for him. And I have, once I'm God's favorite, then I'm your favorite as well. Like, so Rose, our stories are really the same. Like, they're intertwined. And
because me, I was ready to sleep that day. After voting for myself, I'm walking out of a gate, someone saying, can a girl win? I was like, boss, let me go and sleep.
no, me, I had hope of winning. Me, I had hope of winning.
I didn't say that.
Because of the final day.
UID is so organized, like those guys are organized.
That day I was like getting to feel sure that you're going to win is that picture and someone took it from above and you're like, sir. But there are like thousands of people behind you.
Those can be people, but
now me I knew winning the day I went to hostels. I would enter hostels and girls would come, boys would come, askaris would come. Like I would speak down and the whole balconies are filled up.
Does campaigning get easier?
Yeah, if people love you. If people love you.
This is where the contradiction
Now,
is
this is where we
happening.
contradict. For me, it got easier because I first little resist. Like me, I knew who to go to. I knew boys of this kind don't go. Don't go. Just
Don't
even try.
Don't waste your time.
boys from your hall, good. Girls, go to anyone. Go to anyone.
I feel like
See the thing about like this whole online thing, it's you see the thing about it is for me, the reason I voted, if I'm being completely honest, the reason I voted because someone called me and told me vote. If they had not told me, it would have never crossed my mind that day. I didn't even know that's the day for voting.
How trustworthy was that system? Did you trust it before the election?
I did. Now, I start trusting it after I win. Because, listen, I had no link whatsoever towards that. Whoever was handling those things. Like, it was either NRM or NUP. Like, me, I was just me and the people. Just me and the people.
You had no insider information.
There's nothing like inside there.
There's
That
no
is why
point of
these people
mediation.
find problems with me. Because me, I came alone. No one really can, like these mafias, give me a ministry, I helped with this. Like, they're facing very many problems with me because me, like I came with my team, like that's my people. Like, people refused to come on board, thinking I may not really win, or maybe I didn't want to give out money first. Because I believed in myself. So, I did it alone. Like, I was independent to the sense of the word. So I didn't have anyone, you pull these strings, meet this administrator, no. It was just me. So when I know that this election is really free and fair, is after them reading those results and the order of it. Like, the order of it, me, NRM and NUP was the order.
That everyone could
Everyone
see
could
during the process of the elections.
but
You know, it's quite interesting.
It's frustrating. Campaigns, if you do not have a solid heart, don't bother. Don't.
Today you're with someone, tomorrow they're going to another
The other
camp.
camp, and then you feel a little depressed.
No.
And like you're overworking your body. I swear, it's not that because I'm even female that I'm weak.
There are people I
I'm
saw,
strong, but
and I was sure they're my friends. There's a picture I took. If I could show you that picture, I took it when Samba was soaring in, and whoever I took it with were like 7 people. All of those people were my friends at that time, and they're all really good in the political space. None of them supported.
it
which
can
brings me to
kill
this
you.
question. Now that you've been successful, yeah, and you knew, like in the moment, you wouldn't be like, why are you there? Why aren't you supporting me? Obviously, you get it. But what is your reception towards the fake love now?
Was there fake love as well is a question.
Kill them with kindness.
Yeah. I think
Be
I've
kind to
appreciated
them.
each one of them.
Because when you don't be kind, you justify why they didn't support you.
Why they didn't.
Yeah?
Yeah.
They give them more reasons to oppose you. And
My
your
own
governance.
discussion mate that I taught.
Switched up on you at the end.
Not even at the end. Like even when we were carrying umbrellas.
Me, the guy I planned with, how we're going to run the election.
You told him all that dreams,
Everything.
the whole project, the
He
tunnel
went to the
vision.
other
But
camp.
what causes that? I
And he
don't-
even got too annoyed. He even started hitting
Some
me on
people
Twitter.
are too affiliated
He was like,
to
this
affiliate.
boy is young, very selfish politician, leave the election for the NUP candidate. But I wasn't selfish, man. I was following God's will for his people.
But it was grace. You know when they bought me, I thought I had like 1,500 votes. Yeah,
But
I
guys,
wanted
pray,
them.
pray, man. This
But
is God here.
Me, you
How
know,
do I win by 1,000 votes?
For MUBS, it was different. Like they show you per faculty. I think even for you
Faculty.
guys, that's how it was.
Per college.
Per college.
Yeah, per college. So now for us, let's say there were this number of candidates. This one has 100. I'm just giving estimates. This one has 100. This one has 100. This one, like for this one to have 100, Rose is like in 800.
Now that is the challenge. You're with me, the first 4 colleges. The first 4, like
This?
the first 4 in order.
From up, I was leading.
300 NEP, 280 NRM, then me 130. The first 4 colleges. The
You're
second
in
one,
deficit.
500, I remember 500, 400, then me 300. I was always the third.
Already.
Did you perform well in Cobhams?
Yes.
That's you see the thing about Cobhams.
There are
It's
3
like,
colleges.
it's like a swing state. You know how you hear swing states in
It's on
America?
that whatever.
And that
It has a lot of people.
That is when I knew I had won. Like in my college, I got. Now I was third for 3 consecutive colleges. Then and even in the rankings I was third, like the totals for those 4 colleges. So when we go to CHS, I now jumped to second because the NM candidate didn't perform really well there.
Yeah.
I jumped to second, but the NM guy was consistent. So now we go to my college where I come from the same class with the NM candidate. And the NEP guy had like 200. So I leap because I got 500 at college. I leap over him, and then the NM candidate also leaps over the NEP candidate. So now it is me, NRM, NEP. Now we got to Sedat. Sedat I got, that is engineering. I think I'd said that I performed really, really well. I got 500, the other one got 300, and the other one got 300. So now I was ahead, but by like
A few.
400. No, by
200.
No, by 100. By 200. So the challenge comes in. Yeah, we go to Cobhams. Now Cobhams is like I told you, it's business. There are many people from the West. So they read the NEP candidate. He's like 400. I'm like, damn. The NM candidate. I was leading by. Let me get this straight. By 100 votes. No, by 300 votes. Yes, by 300 votes. So he gets 800 votes there from Cobham. So now
For you to break even, you need what?
he
500?
leapfrogged, like he frogged leaps towards having. I think he had. He was ahead of me with 500. Yes, he was ahead. Remember, I was ahead by 300.
300.
So he got 800. He was ahead by 5. So me winning that election, I had to get not less
And 500.
than 500
From Cobhams.
from Cobhams, and it was next to impossible for me, in my mind. That's when now people are like jumping at them, guys. No, I needed one. Now they read me, and I had 700 So it turns now back again. I lead with 200. The NDP I lead him with 400. I think there was one other college, that was School of Law. I knew I didn't really perform well there, even Ginger campus, because I didn't go to Ginger.
You didn't even, those are the ones where you said I'm not going to try.
But what came to my shock is that, okay, luckily I had really performed well and I was ahead by 700 votes over the NDP candidate who comes from School of Law. So he got 300 votes from his college, but it wasn't enough to even Ginger campus, the best got 65, and the NM candidate got 50, me I got 6, because I didn't go there. But I really focused here. So that's how I win.
Yeah, so one of the things I wanted to ask is, during the campaign, there's a lot of chaos and a lot of stuff happening. I want, for me, one of the craziest things that happened during your campaign, a memory that you look back and you're like, what's going on? So maybe you guys can give us one of the craziest, funniest, whichever, something that you saw and you were like, it was a character show, but this is actually a campaign and what's going on. So yeah. Let's start with me. Let's start with it. Yeah.
Okay, so I made a flyer having musicians who were supposed to come and sing.
That was when you, before or like?
After losing the card. So 2 of these artists were my uncles and one was Sophie Busi. So I get a call at 4 that they cannot make it. But the flyer had circulated like crazy. Like I was the first person who had 3 artists on the same flyer. So I get a call that all of them are not coming. People are now already on my case. We are coming, yes, Mr. President, we're coming, guys, be there, be nowhere. So me in my head, we start panicking internally. Oh, guys, we're gonna call it today. What do we do? So what happens is we now plan. Let's get one other candidate, one other artist at a cheaper price who can come, and if God willingly, now God even helps us. Police writes a letter to us that we can't have artists. You understand? So now God helps us that way. The artists were not already going to come, then police refuses them. So we say, okay. Now we shall not tell students that these artists are not coming because of police. We shall stubbornly bring an artist. Yeah? Police fights him because we were sure NRM would still bring another artist and they would be accepted. So I said, oh no, let us pull the sympathy card like this. So we bring a friend of mine, it's called King Zadi. The guy was like, Bebo. So he comes. And first, police was already on the ground, like they were there. And they were like, no artists. Like, okay, yes, Afande. We're not going to bring artists, just us. So after then the artist comes on stage. He sings, it's like, he sings for like 30 seconds, then police takes off the machines. You're like, me, I leave the venue. I had scored.
You're like, this is what I wanted.
But like, those artists were supposed to come. We had even paid one of the candidates, I will not say who, but we had paid for him to come. So don't think we
forgotten.
No, don't think we lied. We didn't lie. So after the police refusing, I now go because I'm sure we've scored. Then still like police Z. Then they even turn off electricity. Like now, it even becomes really, really good in our favor now. So the challenge that happens, I write a letter saying that, yes, thank you for coming, because we had packed. I tell them, thank you for coming, but to condemn the acts of the police refusing us having artists. Then, God willingly, the 2 candidates bring artists, and they're allowed to sing. Then me, I'm like, okay, let them sing.
Like your agenda is
but people know.
It was an agenda against Churchill.
Yes. Yeah. They're against Churchill.
Just not checkers.
So yeah, that's how
that's a proper political move. Like it's a
proper politics.
Out of like a series.
Proper
like
politics.
Proper politics. You have to pivot when things happen.
Guys, those that are at MUBS and you want to win an election, look for Nabwire Rose. He's the professor. You know, like in Money Heist. He's a mastermind of the things we did. Look for Prince as well, but pray.
So Prince is the one, that's the thing that I saw. Prince wants Mugati.
Yeah. So,
but I made a joke, So we were printing exam permits. For like, you need the exam permits for last sem to vote.
Scan it. To vote?
Yeah. so that like you don't like come again. You get, yeah. So we'd go. So when I went to print my exam permit, and I reached the place, and I was like, I'm going to vote, but you guys don't have water. You guys, because I was with someone. Then we were like, you want water? Someone went down. Have water. Then they give you an umbrella after.
We should deliver.
Let's see, Madam President's money.
It's also a bit related to his. I really think God had seen us through this. But mine was the day of the final rally. It was crazy. So the final rally had to take about 8 million. The shirts, the what? Remember, I've told people, come, they're going to be 1,000 shirts. You know, things like food.
The biggest, like the thing is ready. Then the biggest things are food,
shirts, vuvuzelas. So now I think the night before we realized we shan't be able to raise like 1,000 shirts, so we make like about 560. Yes, we didn't reach 600 shirts. But then we like make a video and you could see the shirts were many. So I wake up very early in the morning, then go for like class movements to tell people our final rally is down there. Whoever wants a shirt, we have shirts for you, what, blah, blah, blah. So my outfit hadn't yet reached, like, you know, that whole, the boots and they hadn't yet reached.
So did you, does everyone like, because you and Taban kind of looked like...
you know that final day you have to look like a foot soldier, like you know what you want. We are here to fight. And remember, it was manifesto launch, so the clothes didn't reach in time. The band is around music system, that big music system. Students were many. Madam President is nowhere to be found. I'm here calling, where are my clothes? I'm not getting out without my clothes. And there was pressure all over. And then people started arguing, some of us don't have shirts. I was like, okay, now I'm really in a campaign. And then people started calling, where are you, Madam President? Where are you? So I was like, you know what, guys, let me just wear a suit. You know that gray suit that I was in on the door voting? I was like, let me just wear this with heels, I go. No one cares. No one knew the right outfit. See how I'm getting out of like my hostel, and then the person that was supposed to deliver clothes is there. And like the team, the
and
band,
you already put on
I already wore the grey suit, the person has bought clothes, the band is coming with like people. And she's like, Madam President, the clothes are here. Man, I changed in a saloon, just the saloon there. I took off, dressed up, had to rush, and
Can I pick your suit from that saloon?
I picked it on the door voting. I had to go back and tell them my suit, please.
I put on one shoe. One shoe.
The whole company.
The entire, I have one shoe. These ones are new shoes. One shoe.
We should auction them off.
This one.
We should auction them off.
Whether I'm on a suit, whether I'm not on a suit, whether it is the evening, one shoe. That shoe, I'm going to hang it in the room. Because
it's one button.
I think like that was.
People would say, Churchill, buy a new shoe. I'm like, I would rather get this money and I buy people food. And equally, there's one blue suit of mine. I think it's very, very prominent in some pictures. It's everywhere, that blue suit. Even today, they tell me, no, I have new suits, but I put it on because it is a suit of luck. And okay, this I had forgotten this, by the way. Another crazy thing that happened on the day of. I think it was Christ. It was that day for when the artist was supposed to come. We have bands at campus. Bands. Marabou stocks. So this thing pops on me, on my suit. And it was so smelly on the suit. Now I panic. What do we do? I had to clean. So I tell one of my friends, man, you get a bad and speak to me. That's why he's like, you're going to win. Even me, a bad pooped on me, and I won. I'm like, no, it's tasty. But please, when the bad poops on you and you're in an election, you won.
But elections are really frustrating. Then also us, our musicians, like Karukasita comes later in the night. You've paid her like 1.5 to sing, and the police has taken the microphones. So she had to like lip sing. I was so devastated, and people were saying, we are not leaving until Karukasita comes. Where is she?
Police outfit, thank you. I was going to struggle.
Did the other political parties have like prominent musicians?
Well, The NM candidate bought fake for America.
Fake for America, yeah.
Alien skin and other piece.
That's a budget.
Excuse me. NUP. That's a budget. Fefe Busi, King Sah. Poor me. Eh? I had my porridge and my rice.
What was that guy called?
King Sah.
No, the guy you brought your friend.
What do you mean?
The
Oh, King
musician.
Sally.
King Sally.
King Sally. Shout out my boy.
But
He
you
came
see,
around.
at the
I
end of
feel
the
like
day,
you're even praying for police to jump in.
at the end of the day, you know, that
I was like, I wish they are seen. I had to make sure that these guys record a video when police is really like seen taking off the machines. And why they can small video of like 3 seconds because the person that recorded it was scared of being seen. So he just caught them. So it's what we shared the next day. Oh my God, no, the ball.
But you see, now this is confusing me. I would think that police would be scared of, let's say, no the political party, but they let no candidate.
Both of them fought me. Like both the two candidates fought me. The yellow card and the red one, they were like, this guy can't have artists. Like, but even the NUP candidate at some point was refused.
From whatever.
From I think 2 artists sang, and the other one was stopped. You understand? And it would be unfair if I lied here. Equally him, I think police refused, but some sang. Like King Saha sang, no one sang.
But you see the thing about
But for NRM, police was protecting.
even NUP and NRM, you know, they still have some influence. When you're independent now, you have no one to like call someone.
But nothing.
The person that you call is one of your.
Some people are already saying you cannot win.
Yeah.
Like so, even police can't come around and be like.
But it's a hell of an achievement because NUP had won for a very long time, and for someone independently to win, it's.
Now, what you've forgotten to say. Now, let's like Rose is the first female group president in 13 years. Okay, in a decade more.
More
I
than a
am the first person to win without a party in over 25 years. Like a silver jubilee time. I've
without candidate for years.
6.
6.
Yeah.
6 years.
For God. Endorsed by God, guys.
But don't risk to run an independent race.
Please don't. Let's get a PC.
Unless it's the only choice you have.
And also, if you don't see bad people, you know.
if birds don't just leave the election.
So, you know, like outside Kruma where they're always there. Just stand
Wait,
there and wait.
You see, my friend,
Stand there.
you can stand there for 2 weeks
Just-
in a row and they don't.
You
It's there.
know, because
Like,
usually my classes are just up there. So, okay, that's also my hall. It's just that I don't choose.
now that's why they pooped on me in that middle part. I was walking to get out, then it pooped on me.
But that was your stronghold.
And where I pass, like you know how you pass where you don't usually pass. Like there's a password, but this time I trespassed to pass via the canteen. And when I was trespassing, like oh my God, when I've trespassed is when this thing has.
The true endorsement.
That's when it came.
The true endorsement.
I also want to wrap it up by you guys telling us.
Now, before we continue to that, before we wrap up, one more thing. May I want to know about, like, maybe you guys could tell us some brief things about your personals, because people know the politicians. They know Rose the politician, they know Churchill the politician. These great personalities. But who are you? Like, what things do you like to do? What things are you interested in? I mean, you can shout out your partners if there are any. Because Churchill was, I would see there were tweets about Jemima all the time.
Jemima
for Churchill. So.
I don't want to put names.
Yeah.
People will get annoyed.
I'm just saying. So
Like protocol is to omit. When you omit, you offend.
Yeah.
So everyone that supported me, let's first continue with your
yes. So for me, what I want to know is like, what are you people when you're not in this power suit? Who are you when the cameras and the responsibilities and the work is aside? Who are you as like just
People.
young youth trying to do? What do you do that makes you you? Maybe people can relate. You never know, we may have a FIFA player here. Something. Just tell us.
Yeah, so me, I usually keep in my own space. Like, I keep in my own space. I'm not usually a people person. It's just this political space that has made me get used to people. So in that space, I usually read novels. I love reading novels, going out with friends, just a girl being a girl.
It has all changed.
It has all changed. Like, guys, you enter a restaurant and
Imagine.
a waitress is Rose.
No, for you, a restaurant. I went to Entebbe. Like,
Oh my God.
It's like conductor, like, hey, President, Ssentamu. In the interview.
That's such a beautiful thing.
You sit on a board and people in a taxi are waving.
Today I can't really sit on a board.
Can't I Google you
I
guys
cannot.
now?
You can. How do you think I found the information I use?
You're like,
I Googled
Your soft life.
You will see. But you want to Google, please Google.
man, just don't know that just.
Me, most of your whole intro was from
Are you sure?
everything I have on the intros about you. I get good from the internet.
Well, for me, I'm a football player. I've played for NEC FC. I'm a fully licensed player of the university team at Makerere University, so I have quite an outgoing life outside. Okay, of course it wasn't really as normal as, because of course there's that family issue and what. But I love football. I used to love series a lot, but today I don't have time to watch any. I'm a person of my boys.
Grown up.
I know. I'm a person of my boys. I love being with my boys. I would be with my boys for a weekend and I'm really content. Our games are there, music is playing. Like, I'm a people person. Like, I'm a social type. And I could be very talkative sometimes, or I could be very, very reserved, depending on the situation. But I'm an extrovert, I would say. I'm not introverted in any sense. Yeah, I think, but even my life outside leadership has also been a little political. My family and engagement. My father, I used to be my father's personal assistant, so he's going to a meeting, I go with him, I have to dress well, I have to cut my hair. So really, but I love football. Basically, what most people know about me is football. And maybe I used to be a little good in class.
Okay, so I guess you guys are just going to like say something. Have you appreciated people publicly yet? Like saying something. Okay, I don't think she has because you've just won the election.
Yeah, I did. I had a flyer.
A flyer.
Maybe I had it spoken.
Yeah.
But
so-
I've gone to classes.
Me too,
Yeah, I've been
today.
in classes.
Yesterday, I've been in classes.
You were kneeling down for people.
Yeah.
Do you know
That's
the
crazy.
occasion to kneel down for people? Yeah,
That's
guys.
crazy.
Man, me, I'm proud.
But so maybe like give out
Say something.
to some of your
Don't even
voter-
just to
to those that voted for you and those that didn't, but now well you're their leader. So speak to your
people.
to the people that you serve.
To the MUBS fraternity, to the MUBS fraternity, I am very, very grateful for the opportunity that you entrusted me with. I kept on saying that grace will always set you apart from men, and indeed, you were gracious on Tuesday to remember my name on that ballot paper. And as we said, the leadership that works when we're requesting for the mandate to lead the students, we said we are action-oriented. So this is an action-oriented government ready to serve the students. To the student body, feel free to reach out to us. We are your leaders. Do not shy away. You have a problem here and there. It's the least I can do to be there for you because you are there for me. Thank you so much.
To our gallant intellectuals from the hill of the land. First of all, I really, really appreciate each one of you that voted for me and for another candidate. Thank you very much for taking out the responsibility upon yourselves. Ours, like I've told you, is let's get heard. Let our voices be heard by the people in positions of power. Let our challenges be amplified to levels of being worked upon. I told you I'm trying to create a very transparent and accountable government. To you, most importantly, the students' fraternity, one of our biggest tasks is taking you back to your sole position of being the biggest stakeholders of Makerere University. We are already underway. Be rest assured we are having a different tenure of a guild leadership. Keep our presence in the masses of the people, hide nothing from you people, but most importantly, direct our energies and activities towards achieving a common goal of you people being fully represented in every organ of the university. Thank you so much for trusting me. I pray that the good Lord enables me not to break that trust, because I believe God for everything that I've achieved, and I believe God for everything that I'm meant to achieve. Thank you so very much. Mighty Makerere.
So guys, that's been the Don't Be podcast. Really, really big pleasure for you guys, making time in your busy schedules to come and, speak with the Don't Be podcast, talk to your people. And, never know, hopefully we'll have you towards the end of your career to, look back at the journey and how did it
Yeah,
feel?
if she doesn't hate me, then.
Exactly.
Say what?
If they don't become political rebels, but even that's better for content for us. So like whatever
All this
happens.
time, like, if that happens, we'll be sitting in the middle.
Maybe if I meet
Yeah,
her,
like-
I can phone sir.
No? Yeah.
Pardon?
Yeah.
You guys,
Just so you know, if these guys become best friends, don't help me take full credit completely. Alright guys, thank you very much and see you next time.